You have reached the Disability Benefits Bureau of the New York State Workers' Compensation Board. To continue in English, press 1.
Se ha contactado la oficina.
If you are calling regarding an on-the-job or work-related injury or illness, press 1. If you are an employer, press 2. If you are calling about a claim, press 1. If you are calling for information about Form CE 200, if you are calling about a claim, press 1. If you are calling for information about Form CE 200, a certificate of attestation of exemption, press 2. If you are an employer, press 3. If you received correspondence or a statement from the Workers' Compensation Board regarding a lapse in insurance coverage, press 1. If you received correspondence with the letters TF at the bottom left-hand corner, press 1. If you had insurance during the time period indicated in the correspondence, press 2. If you did not have insurance during the time period indicated in the correspondence, press 3. If you are not sure why you received this correspondence, or you need to get information about the time period for which you are being penalized, press 4. Please note, the Workers' Compensation Board can only speak with those individuals who have a direct relationship with the business. If you do not have a direct relationship with the business, please hang up and have someone with a direct relationship to the business call us again.
All calls may be monitored and/or recorded for quality assurance.
All of our representatives are busy. Please remain on the line and your call will be answered in the order it was received.
Your estimated wait time is less than 5 minutes.
While you wait for the next available representative to assist you, you will hear public service announcements from different New York State agencies.
Organ donors save lives. Did you know that just one organ donor can save the lives of 8 people? An eye and tissue donor can improve the lives of dozens more. There is a severe shortage of organ donors in New York State. Approximately 9,500 New Yorkers are living with an organ failure and waiting for a life-saving organ transplant. In 2017, over 500 people were removed from the waiting list of New York State transplant centers because they died before an organ became available for them or they became too sick to receive a transplant. Become an organ, eye, and tissue donor today. Enroll in the New York State Donate Life Registry at the website donatelife.ny.gov.
Continue what I was talking about. So we have a disability and paid family leave benefit policy here, which is essentially unlimited. I don't have him clock in. I don't monitor what he does over his shoulder. I don't look over his shoulder, and I don't care. If he needs to take 1 or 2 weeks off, he is welcome to take those 1 to 2 weeks off. He could take longer than 1 to 2 weeks off, and I wouldn't even care, as long as guides get written over the course of the...
My name is Kevin. How can I help you today?
Hi, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it. I had a notice here of non-compliance and penalty for failure to provide disability and paid family leave benefits insurance. And the issue is that the employee has never been to New York in his life, and that there's only one paid employee of this entire nonprofit, and they are in another state. I'm the director, and I also live in another state. And this nonprofit has also surrendered its paperwork in New York State, so it's actually not even a New York State nonprofit anymore. So I'm curious how I go about handling this.
Can I have the WCB employer number or customer ID number that's listed on that letter you received?
Absolutely. It's 330-9477.
Can I have that name one more time?
Of myself or the company?
The company.
Yeah, it's Repair Preservation Group Incorporated.
And then can you verify the address of that business for me as well?
The old address was 141 West 27th Street, New York, 10001. And the new address after the surrender...
And can I also just have your name in relationship to the business? So you said
yes, sir. My name is Louis Rossmann.
So just your name, please.
Yeah, Louis, Louis, and then Rossmann for my last name.
Is this phone number that you're calling from a good number to reach you at in case we have any questions?
This, or I can provide a cell phone number just in case.
We only have room for one phone number, whichever one you think is the best.
I would probably say this number.
Okay. And then can I also just have a good email address for you as well?
Sure. It's LOUIS, like my first name, at fight2repair.org. That's FIGHTTOREPAIR.org.
So currently what I see is there are actually 2 different periods of noncompliance on file. The first period that I see is for workers' compensation from December 31st, 2022 until the present time.
So the workers' compensation one, we actually mailed out paperwork proving that there was a policy for that entire time. This is a second one that I got after I mailed out the paperwork showing that there was workman's compensation, and I'm not sure if you received that paperwork. I have USPS signature confirmation of it being received if you need it. This is a separate one that I got received regarding disability. I've reached out to my insurance provider, and they said since this employee is in Nevada, none of the directors are actually paid employees, and the only paid employee of this is in Nevada. That I don't have to provide disability and paid family leave benefits insurance, and they actually have no way to sell it to me because the only employee of the company is in Nevada.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I should be saying nonprofit, not company, but I imagine it's the same concept.
So you already sent in the information for regarding workers' comp, so you only want to deal with the disability benefits, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you said there was no business being done in New York State from March 13th till the present?
I would have to get the exact date of the surrender paperwork in order to tell you. What I can tell you is that this employee has never been to New York State. So like his entire time working here has been in Nevada. The second thing, which is a little bit more concerning to me, is for the first period of noncompliance that you noted, I have a delivery confirmation from USPS that you had received my response to that April 27th. Since you said it's still listed there and it's been about 3 months, that concerns me a little bit. Do you have any record of receiving any correspondence from me from the letter that I had sent out in April?
Let's see.
Because for that, I provided detailed information for actually providing workman's compensation. It looks like it was signed for by L. Stark.
So I do see that we received information and it was processed on the 3rd of May. Let's see. And we received a web response right after then. So for whatever reason, we received that information, but it looks like that was not sufficient enough to show that there was coverage for that time period because it has not updated to show that that period was covered by that insurance information.
Okay. Yeah, I had sent a copy of the policy that I had purchased, and I also sent contact information to the people who provided me the policy. So I guess here my question will be twofold, and this is not related to the disability issue we're dealing with now. It's related to the first workman's comp issue. The first is, if the information I provided was not adequate and I provided it 3 months ago, why have I not been informed of that? Because then that would mean that I'm probably just accruing more fines for something that I could have responded to. And secondly, can you tell me specifically what it was about the information that I provided, whether it's the policy or the contact information of the people who had given me the policy, that was insufficient?
What I can tell you is just that the workers' compensation policy has not been updated The information that I can see in the system shows that we received a form, but it does not look like we actually received any proof of that coverage. The information I show is just a 2-page document. It says, you verified your FEIN, you listed your carrier, your policy number, and the effective date, and then it was signed on the back of that. But it doesn't look like we actually have anything showing that coverage was actually on file besides just that paper.
So when I filled out that paper, and I'm so sorry, I don't mean to be difficult with you, but when I filled out that paper, I filled out what it asked for, which was the number of the policy, the people providing it. So when I filled out that form, I filled out what it had asked me to fill out, and I provided what it had asked me to fill out. If it wanted more information than what was there, and I am so sorry, because I know this is not your fault. It's just I've been dealing with this back and forth for like 10 years now. I've had liens and warrants put on my businesses that weren't actually supposed to be there, and I've had to go back for like 5 to 10 hours to get them off. And I know this is not your fault, and I should not be taking my frustration out on you. But if all of that was needed, why couldn't they tell me that in the original paperwork, or more importantly, just send me a letter saying, hey, we need this from you? Like, do you see from my point of view how that's like insanely frustrating?
I do see that another letter was sent out on June 5th stating that there was still a period of noncompliance for workers' compensation.
Okay, so that will be something I deal with separately, I suppose, when I receive it, because I haven't even received that letter yet. But more importantly, so for the disability one, what do I do with this one, since this employee is just, again, this is a person that's never stepped foot in New York State, and my insurance company
So what I'm going to do for both periods is just submit a work request to get them to review the information. What it will do is it'll prompt our back office to review this information. They will reach out to you within the next 10 business days via email. They're going to ask for some information to verify what we went over today. Once we can get that information verified, we'll be able to get both of these periods taken care of.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
No problem. Is there anything else I can help you out with today?
That's about it. You have a lovely rest of your day.
Thank you. You as well. Enjoy your weekend.
Okay, bye-bye. I can't do it anymore. I'm sorry. I know I'm supposed to be nice. I know I'm not supposed to blow up on them. I understand. What I have over here is a penalty document for something that my insurance company literally cannot provide me if I wanted to. I can't provide this type of insurance to a New York person, to somebody who has never been in New York. They are trying to fine me for... I'm being fined here for shit that I can't... Like, for not having a type of insurance that I can't even buy. I left your shit-ass state 1 year ago. Leave me the fuck alone. I have one employee for my nonprofit, and what he does is he creates wiki guides. He literally sits in his chair at home and types up stuff like this. He goes over how to fix phones. That is what he does. That is his job. When you go to Apple, when you go iPhone, and you read these guides, 90% of these guides that you read here, whether it's the random restarting or these, are created by him. This is what he does. He doesn't clock in. He doesn't message me, hey, Lewis, I'm taking a day off. I see that guides are getting posted every now and then. He gets paid. I do not care about sick leave. I do not care about paid family leave or any of these things, because if he needs to take a day off, he takes a day off. And if he needs to take a week off, he takes a week off. If he needs to take a month off, he takes a month off. As long as guides get produced over the course of the year, I don't care. This person, who is my employee, has never, in the entire year of working here, ever complained about any of this to me or the city or the state. And he is just as surprised as I am that there is a fine being levied to me for not providing disability benefits or paid sick leave benefits, because he has taken every liberty that I've provided him as a very, very lenient employer. Nobody complained to trigger this. And what's more aggravating here is that when I send them information, it shows over here that it was delivered with, and again, it was signed for. I make sure that they have to sign for it because I know they're going to say they didn't get it. They got it 3 months ago. It was missing something they wanted. Now, they could do two things. A, they can send me out paperwork saying this was not sufficient. Hey, Lewis, this is not sufficient. Can you show us this? Or B, they could let it sit there and ignore it and let it accrue fees so that there's more penalties and more penalties and more penalties without me knowing. The exact same shit that they did when I had a lien on my account for 7 fucking years that I never knew about. It just never ends. It never fucking ends. And it never will. I've left the state. I have no business in that state anymore. My name is on nothing there. There's no income there. It doesn't matter. They will continue until I am dead to try to find reasons to nickel and dime me and find me. It will never end. It will never end. Please, for the love of God, if you are watching this video, there is one thing that I would ask of you, one thing to consider. If you're looking to start a business, anywhere in the country besides there, literally anywhere else, go someplace where they do not take solace in incompetence, where they are not happy to waste your time and abuse you when nobody has even complained. They addressed this to a Texas nonprofit. This letter was written after my surrender paperwork was filed. I don't even have a nonprofit in New York State anymore. I have a Texas nonprofit. I need a new keyboard. I'm losing it. I'm honestly losing it. Like, for all those other videos, for the other video series I did on Liam, I spent over 8 hours on hold. I spent over 8 hours on hold for all that stuff. Probably closer to 14 if you add up all the stuff that I edited out. I was a lot more patient. I had the ability to be more patient. Can I be honest? I don't have the ability to be patient anymore. I see mail with New York State written on it, and I just want to let it on fire. I don't care. Can I be honest? I don't care if they resolve the issue or not. I don't care. If there's a file in New York State in a filing cabinet somewhere saying Lewis did something wrong, Lewis is bad, Lewis is a horrible employer, Lewis owes us money, I don't care. I don't care. I'm never going to that state again. I'm never walking into that state again. I'm never starting a business in that state again. Some of my ex-employees have actually asked about having a franchising agreement because I've told them, I'm not keeping my old company open here. I said, if you guys want to start your own company, we can talk about having my name on it or something like that if you want to use my name and to try to get business in New York. But I'm not putting my name on a single company in that shithole ever again for the rest of my life. And this is why. This is why. Before they could even go through and process the paperwork from the first fine that was sent on a bullshit premise, they sent a second fine. And that's the other thing. Again, workman's compensation. Okay, I actually paid since the first fucking day that I had that employee for workman's compensation insurance. He writes guides. He works from home. He sits in his computer chair. And he, again, to be clear, I'm not saying it's not difficult work to find, come up with all this stuff, but he sits home and he writes guides on a wiki. Can we just acknowledge for a moment that the fact that I'm even paying for workman's compensation insurance for this is kind of ridiculous? Again, if you're a construction worker, workman's compensation. If you're a plumber, workman's compensation. Hell, if you're even showing up in person to work, I get it, workman's compensation. If your job is to roll out of bed, no offense to Jesse Cruz, love the guy, walk over to his computer and then write guides on his computer. I'm sorry, what is this for? And in case you you get a paper cut on your mouse or something? Really? Really? I mean, just the entire premise of this is so that people who have no ability, no talent, no nothing, no ability to really produce anything valuable for society, have an ability to make money by wasting my morning and bleeding small business owners and now small nonprofit owners dry. I'm just going to say it. I'm never paying these people. I'm never paying a dime. The money that you guys donated to my nonprofit will never fucking go to New York State. I will go to prison before I give these people a dime of money that you donated to my nonprofit. Fuck that. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'm going to go do something relaxing and forget about the New York State mail that I'm still getting after leaving. They didn't even open. Thank God. I probably shouldn't upload this video. Oh, if I had half a brain, I wouldn't upload this video. I should upload it, though. People should see what trying to run a business in New York does to you. Maybe that'll be the best case. Maybe when I'm in a rubber padded room after years and years of this, like, it'll be a case study. This is the funny thing. We didn't see any proof. I'm sorry, the policy number, the name of the organization providing the policy, their contact information, like literally everything they asked for. They provided me with a form. I provided everything that the form asked for, 100%. And they're like, well, we wanted more. If you want more, then why don't you put on the form that you wanted more? And again, that's beside the point. That again, like workman's compensation. Again, do you know how stupid I feel paying for a workman's compensation policy so Jesse Cruz in his underwear can be protected in case he gets a paper cut on his keyboard for writing guides from his house? I'm talking in circles now. I'm going to end the video. Do me a favor. Promise me. You will not start a business with your name on it in New York State. Watching you. If you do, you can expect your hairline to do this. You can expect your sanity to do this. You know I'm going to be getting mail until 2030. I'm going to be getting mail until 2050. The United States, India, and China together will reach net zero emissions before I stop getting fines from New York State.